Can turntable accessories improve the sound of records? With the renaissance of vinyl records underway, new generations are discovering the finer aspects of playing records. Many aftermarket devices claim to improve the performance of record players and the sound one can achieve from records. These include turntable mats, record weights and clamps, isolation feet, and isolation platforms. The tests and tips in this video are intended to help you determine whether any of these devices are necessary for your record playback system. I will use the terms record player and turntable to mean a motorized turntable platter mounted on a base with a tone arm and phono cartridge. A turntable mat is supposed to keep extraneous vibrations from disturbing the record. The needle of a phono cartridge picks up vibrations from record grooves along with any vibrations imparted to the record itself. The phono cartridge can't distinguish which vibrations represent music and which represent unwanted noise. There are two potential sources of vibration. Vibrations could come from the turntable motor. On a belt drive turntable, motor vibrations reach the platter via the rubber belt, which can absorb some of this vibrational energy. In a direct drive turntable, the motor sits underneath the platter, and the motor shaft is directly coupled to the center spindle. Any motor vibrations will find its way onto the spindle and then to the platter. A more significant source of vibration is from the music itself. Loudspeakers project sound into the listening room. The sound waves reflect off the walls, ceiling, and floor. Low frequencies in particular can set floors in motion, vibrating the rack or cabinet supporting the turntable and other audio components. Turntable manufacturers use various methods to mitigate this problem. This VPI turntable uses a massive base comprised of a half-inch thick aluminum plate bonded to a 1/8 inch steel subplate, which is then bonded to 2 inches of MDF. It sits on 4 large vibration-absorbing feet. The aluminum platter weighs 18 pounds and is damped with a stainless steel disc bonded to its underside. Total weight is around 60 pounds. This design and construction is intended to prevent any airborne vibrations from reaching the platter. The mass of the platter is supposed to act as a drain for any vibrations that reaches the record. This dual turntable weighs less than 10 pounds. A subchassis supports the platter and motor. It is isolated from the plastic base via a rubber suspension system. The base rests on 4 small rubber feet. The VPI turntable does not come with a turntable mat. A foam protector for the platter is used during transit. Some owners use this as a platter mat. VPI advises no mat is required, but suggests owners listen to the sound of records played with and without a mat and decide for themselves. On the dual turntable, the included rubber mat is essential as the metal platter underneath is not intended to support a record directly. To determine if a turntable mat is required to reduce vibrations on a record, we need a tool that can detect and measure vibration. I will be using the free version of the Vibrometer app on my Android smartphone. I can't vouch for the accuracy of this tool, but I think it's safe to conclude that a 0 reading means virtually no vibration is detectable. To detect motor-induced vibration, I will place the smartphone on the platter and take vibration readings with the platter stationary and in rotation. I will use a bit of blue tack on the bottom surface of the phone so that the centrifugal force of the rotating platter will not send the phone flying off the platter. No motor-induced vibrations were detected for either turntable. To detect airborne vibration, I will use a signal generator app on my tablet to play a low-frequency tone through my audio system at a volume sufficient to make the floor of my listening room vibrate. Some airborne vibration was detected on the dual turntable. No vibration was detected on the VPI turntable. Try these tests with your turntable to determine if it is susceptible to motor or airborne vibrations. If it is, a mat might be beneficial. There are many aftermarket turntable mats to choose from. They come in all sorts of materials, diameters, thicknesses, and prices. The cost of some mats might even exceed the cost of your record player. Many years ago, I swapped out the felt mat included with my Rega turntable in favor of a new sorbethane mat that was being hyped at the time. Sorbethane is a slightly squishy, tacky, rubbery material that is claimed to be highly effective at absorbing vibrations. After a while, I got bored of listening to records because they sounded mediocre. I blamed the recording engineers and producers for over-compressing the recording levels. Then one day I swapped out the sorbethane mat for another. The sound improvement was incredible. It turned out the sorbethane material was sucking all the dynamics that was present on the record and left me with a dull, lifeless presentation. Always be wary of outlandish claims by manufacturers, vendors, and audio experts, and always perform A/B listening tests. It's not hard to detect improvements in sound clarity. If you can't hear a difference after a few minutes, then the differences are insignificant, at least to your ears, and that's all that matters. On the topic of felt mats, I don't understand why turntable manufacturers use them. In cold climates, homes use central heating, which results in low air humidity. A felt mat slipping and sliding on a rotating glass platter is a static electricity generator. After playing a record, I would have to peel the mat off the record, leaving the record with a static electric charge that I would have to remove before I could place it back into its record sleeve. The main purpose of a record weight is to keep the record from slipping on the platter. Slippage results in a change to the pitch of the music picked up by the phono cartridge. Coupling a record more snugly onto the platter will help drain extraneous vibrations from the record into the platter. Turntable manufacturers sometimes include a record weight with their turntables. This one was included with my VPI turntable. It looks like it was milled from a solid block of stainless steel and weighs almost 2 pounds or 785 grams. Needless to say, the turntable uses a high torque, high powered motor. The Savino record weight is comprised of a handle that screws into the bass. It has a foam rubber insert on the bottom and weighs 9 ounces or 260 grams. If you are a frugal audiophile with some workshop skills, you can make your own record weight for very little money. A hockey puck is approximately 3 inches in diameter by 1 inch thick and weighs 6 ounces or 166 grams. First, measure the diameter of the spindle using calipers and select a drill bit with a similar diameter. To use the puck as a clamp, select a slightly smaller diameter bit so that it will fit snugly around the spindle. To determine if a record weight or clamp improves the sound of your records, play a familiar track with and without the weight. If you detect clear articulation of voices and instruments with the weight, then it's a worthwhile tool. It's not a foregone conclusion that a record weight or clamp will result in a sonic improvement. Turntables use different materials and different design philosophies. Just as not all turntables will benefit from using a record mat, not all turntables will benefit from using a record weight or clamp. For my VPI turntable, the included record weight seems to impart greater solidity to the image and clearer articulation. The high torque motor has no difficulty accommodating the additional 785 grams. The low powered motor of the dual turntable may not be able to handle this amount of extra weight. The Savino and DIY record weights are safer options. Based on my listening tests, the sound seems clearer with the DIY record clamp. The only drawback with using a clamp is the need to stop the platter to insert and remove it from the spindle. Origin Live recently introduced the Gravity 1 record weight. From product reviews, it appears to be a resonance control device rather than a typical record weight. The marketplace and user forums will determine whether the claimed benefits are real or false. Isolation devices. Isolation pads that sit under the turntable base might help prevent unwanted vibrations from reaching the record platter and the record itself. I have a set of 4 isoacoustic Aurea bronze isolation pads. Isolation platforms are also available for turntables. I have an Auralex isolation platform meant for use with subwoofers, but is similarly constructed as the turntable platform. For this test, I will place the turntable directly on the floor, then on the isoacoustic pads, then on the Auralex isolation platform. Readings with Auralex isolation platform. With the turntable on isoacoustic pads, the readings never exceed 1. With the turntable on the Auralex platform, readings go beyond 1. Therefore, it appears that the isoacoustic pads outperform the turntable feet and the Auralex platform in isolating the platter from vibrations. I hope some of these tips will be helpful to you as you strive to improve the performance of your record playback system and enhance your listening experience. Happy listening!